Daddy, why did you leave us now? Professor Sir Victor Uwaifo has gone to rest. Black Saturday for me. Peter, the son of late Sir Victor Uwaifo, posted this, on his social media platform announcing the passing of his father yesterday. And since then, a lot of people have been paying tribute to this, music legend, an icon indeed, including President Muhammadu Buhari. We're going to continue our discussion on the rule of law and enforcement of traffic laws in Nigeria. And right now, we're going to take this background report put together by Francis Ogbe. And after that, other things will follow. Let's take this.
Transportation, as an important part of human activity, forms the basis of all socio-economic interactions, as lack of transport facilities often hinders economic development. Consequently, road safety management reforms were initiated to regulate road users' activities, reduce high rate of accidents, and ensure safety on Nigerian roads. But to what extent are traffic laws enforced on our roads?
Traffic law enforcement in Nigeria has been an issue for a while. Everything depends on vision. So some people have this vision that road safety management in Nigeria should focus more on education. That if you educate the people, they will do what is right. I think that's the angle that has prevented holistic enforcement of road traffic laws in Nigeria. I will say that road traffic law in Nigeria is at its kindergarten stage. That does not really produce or promote attitudinal change. So what enforcement is supposed to do is to produce attitudinal change. When you focus on public information, it produces awareness.
In an attempt to arrive their destinations hurriedly, most motorists drive recklessly and impatiently, thereby disobeying traffic laws, which may lead to avoidable road crashes.
Nigerians are getting peace of police stop me, road safety commission stop me, VIO stop me. All these are happening because we have not taken our traffic administration operations to the level of high-tech. If we have taken it to the level of high-tech, for example, you don't stop the way we stop people in Nigeria. A police does not stop you from the front in US, it stops you from the back. So there must be something that he sees, for example, that make him to stop you from the back. Whether you are just changing lane anyhow, whether you are driving with one hand and holding one bottle with another one drinking, you are involved in a behavior that shows red alert. And then from behind it just horn, pump, and you look at the mirror, you see a police, so you park. But here, and then it doesn't need so much. You just says, can I have your, this and that, and you give it to him, it punches in the system, everything comes out clear. So I'm sorry, you can go. But if you are not in order, then it flags you off. Then you see this small sticker that you put in front of the vehicle that shows that your vehicle is not expired. You understand me now? We tried to introduce that. And that is not the work of road safety. That's the work of the VIO of all the states. We tried to introduce that, but we couldn't continue. You understand me now? So now, when a vehicle is coming, you don't know whether the vehicle particular is okay or not until you stop them. And you see, we don't appreciate time in Nigeria. So every time you stop me, you are wasting my time. You understand me now? So that's why we need to go high-tech. So when we go high-tech, it will cut off some of these excesses you see of police stopping you, VIO stopping you, road safety stopping you, and then yellow fever.
People respond differently after breaking a traffic law, from denials to outright physical scuffles with the arresting officer. There are cases where people feigned ignorance of the speed limit they were caught breaking, or claimed that they were not texting when their phones were obviously in their hands while driving.
the attitude of the VIO, the attitude of road safety, the attitude of police reflect the attitude of Nigerians. And so it's part of the whole. You understand what I say? Because typically every Nigerian that wields position of power wants you to know that I'm in charge. So there's this nascent arrogance in us. You don't know a Nigerian until power enters his hand, until position or money, gives him opportunity to flex muscles.
The streets of Lagos and the highways, for instance, become dark, not with clouds but thick exhaust fumes from vehicles often referred to as rickety cars.
I'm sure you have been driving around town and you see vehicles citing VIO officers ahead or road safety ahead and quickly reversing. They are reversing because they know that there is something wrong either with their documentation or with the vehicle itself. So, but we can avoid this by making a policy that has a cutoff date. For example, maybe a partnership of the VIO, the Federal Road Safety Commission, working in tandem. So they may come together, for example, and do a policy that the cutoff date for any vehicle that is rickety, no light at the back, no light at the front, smoky, you understand me now, and almost a pack of scrap. We are going to terminate this kind of vehicles on a particular cutoff date. For example, maybe May 2022, and then we announce it holistically in partnership with media houses and say Nigeria is taking a new leave, and we don't want rickety vehicles that are death trap on our ways anymore. And then enforcement starts from that particular day. So for that enforcement, if road safety are the one that sees such a vehicle, take it off. If it is VIO that sees such a vehicle, take it off. If it is police that sees such a vehicle, take it off. That's why we need to work together.
Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. It is your responsibility to get yourself acquainted with the rules of the road and understand guiding traffic regulations used in Nigeria.
If you want to put a vehicle on the road, if you're a driver, if you drive regularly, try and know what the rule says. And then you don't need to run a task when you are accosted. For example, you will not be afraid of police. You will not be afraid of road safety. You will not be afraid of VIO. They stop you, you greet them with a smile, and then you park. Show them what they want to see, and when they see it, you go. But again, at times our law enforcement officers are too how do I say this? They will not be demanding for things that are not even the law, because they know that you don't know your right.
Our focus on Weekend Deal today will be on the rule of law and enforcement of traffic laws in Nigeria. Weekend Deal.
Indeed, this is definitely a conversation that must be sustained until we, begin to see the positive impact to ensure that we have our sanity restored on our roads. And to be, honest with you, it's not just traffic gridlock. It's not just peculiar to Nigeria alone. We have other, similar scenarios in other climes. But in Nigeria, there are those, traffic incidences that can be avoided if we do the basic things. And of course, this is what we'll continue to call for. But it's surprising that some people don't really know the signs, the markings, the road furnitures and all of that. But this next feature put together by ETV Lagos will put us in the right perspective to educate us further about what these road signs are all about.
An expert in the field of mind-blowing healing, Deepa Chopra, quoted that the goals of all goals is happiness, and our emotions are like road signs on that journey towards the goal of happiness. Talking about road signs and markings on the road which help to maintain safe driving and protect pedestrians' safety. There are different road signs and symbols that pass different informations to a driver and pedestrians. How well do they know the signs?
Either police day or police no day. When you see the light is on, then you stop. After that, you can move.
Actually, what do I understand on the roadside as like the crossing of there was supposed to be a pedestrian bridge here. You understand? Like the traffic light here now. There are some people, if they want to cross the road, they have to look the left and the right before they cross. But some they don't look. why the Okada will be coming. Before you say we had an accident, the Okada is coming through one way to meet somewhere that was coming.
I know the green light is for go, the red is for stop, and the yellow is for get ready.
Despite the road signs placed along roadways to warn and guide drivers on how to use the road safely, there are still high number of serious car accidents recorded across the country every day.
It's very important because without traffic signs, there is going to be chaos. People running into each other, make orderliness on the road, difficult to move.
When we say you don't make U-turn here, and the man decides to go against that road signs, definitely is going to cause commotion at that place. When road sign says this is one way, and the man decides to go against the traffic, what do you expect? So when road signs are neglected, you see chaotic situation that will lead to commotion, crashes, and fatality.
It is pertinent for every driver to understand the road signs right from the point of their driving lessons before they acquire a driver's license. This will go a long way in ensuring safety on roads. Are there penalties for negligence on road signs?
The failure to abide by that regulation leads to infractions. And when infractions are committed, there are penalties to be paid. And all these things are well stated in our Establishment Act. And that is the outcome of the tickets that you see that are issued to any road user that creates any infraction on our road.
I feel that they are not properly oriented about traffic rules in Nigeria.
Relatively to aid safety on roads, there are also road furnitures that provides drivers with the necessary warnings, rules, and directive informations in order to have safe roads. Nevertheless, some roads lack availability of road furnitures. Therefore, for safety on our roads, there is a need for road users to understand road signs and abide to the rules. While the Federal Road Safety Commission and road development agencies should issue a priority and help reverse the trend of absence of road furniture in Nigeria.
Well, the need for education and enlightenment is well stressed there. And then, of course, it's sometimes you think that the motorists know some of these road signs, but truly they do not know, because not all of them pass through these conventional driving schools, which is very, very important. As a matter of fact, if you are caught disobeying or showing any disregard to some of these road signs, for me, or rather some people have suggested that licenses be withdrawn so that they are forced to go back to the driving school to know or learn the basics. Enforcement, some say, is the order of the day. Whether you know the signs or just willingly disregard some of these signs, by the time you are being penalized, perhaps you begin to know some of these things and pay attention to them and follow, or rather obey the rules and regulations guiding the movements on the road. And that is what Kaduna is looking at, assessing the enforcement level in Kaduna State. Let's take a look at this.
A visit to major roads leading to commercial, work and city centers, most state capital, will reveal a gridlock in law enforcement agencies trying to restore order. Kaduna State, despite being one of the major cities in the north, experienced only mild cases of traffic congestion, thereby recording minimal cases of violations. Why is this so?
Well, in the entire Kaduna State, I can say level of enforcement of traffic rules and regulations is above average, in the sense that there is a tripod of traffic law enforcement in the state, whereby we as federal officers of road safety will enforce. in Kaduna and about 13 or 14 other local governments spread across the state. And of course, the state traffic law enforcement agencies also in existence as the CASLIA. They also do their bid. They concentrate mostly on state roads, while we do enforcement on most of the federal roads that are within the state.
How are traffic violations handled in the state?
So once you violate the law, there's a fine that you're supposed to pay based on the law. And anybody who arrests, we usually apply that same law, and he pays a certain fine, and then his vehicle will be released to him. And if it means that we have to take him to court, we have legal department which charge him to court, and then court will now prosecute him as it's based on the laid down rules and regulations.
To increase the safety and comfort of road users, the state has also embarked on urban renewal projects that involve the renovation, rehabilitation, and construction of roads, culverts, and bridges across the state. The elimination of traffic law violation, particularly in developing countries, may be difficult, but controlling it to reduce its negative effect is achievable. Everyone has a role to play to achieve this.
Well, there you have it, and remember, this show is quite participatory. You can send in your contributions. We get to share that with the rest of the viewers. Some people are already sending in their contributions, and we get to read them at the right time. But in some cases, you know, when you are driving, you see the VIO, road safety, and even the police are asking for similar papers, checking for the similar, and sometimes you get confused. Who is actually authorized to check what? Now, let's take this report on paper renewals and who is to check what. Done by Fatih.
Our roads are busy, day and night, with vehicular movement. Oftentimes, we also notice the presence of diverse road officers who regularly stop road users to check and ask questions. This exercise sometimes are found rather irritating by some road users, especially when some drivers are not stopped and some others are stopped. Again, different uniformed officers are spread on the same road with less than half a mile gap in between, all asking the same questions at the delay of the driver.
In Abuja here precisely, both VIO, road safety, police, and traffic warders, all of them ask for vehicle particulars, they ask for driver's license. In most cases, they ask for your spare tire.
Police asks, VIO asks, road safety asks. So we don't know who to even give the particular to again. So anybody that asks you, if you have the particular, you give it to them. So most of the times, like we taxi drivers, that's why we normally avoid them. We avoid them. If you see them on your way, you can easily turn back and find another route, which you will not meet them. So we don't know who is in charge of particular.
The relationship of BIO, police, and FRSC and all other security agencies has always been that of complementary aspect. I believe that there is no competition, and for us on our side, what we do is to check the vehicle document, which in the first instance were the people that issue the documents. So you can see if there is any other person who is better suited to check the particulars, should actually be us, because we issue them in the first instance. So we gave every other document that is related to vehicle emanated from the DRTS in the case of FCT.
Question now is, what are the real documents every driver must have?
Vehicle license, hackney permit in the case of commercial vehicle, roadworthiness certificate, roadworthiness of vehicle, the computerized test, drivers, conductors badge, etc., etc. All of them, including driver's license, is approved by the road traffic officer. So you can see that every other vehicle's registration booklet in the FCT, including the proof of ownership certificate, we print it, and as we are giving you your number plates, we are giving you together with the your proof of ownership and all the associate documents that follow the vehicle. All the components that make up the vehicle should have been in good condition, that the vehicle can be driven safely by the driver for him as well as other road users.
There is need to have genuine documents and not papers from roadside officers, by following due process and not having fake papers. At times, there are temporary documents given to road users to use on the road before original copies are ready. This should be with the road user at all time. This will go a long way by bringing about law and order in the society and a hitch-free ride.
I think with the photocopy we'll have it, it's okay. Right? Everything's complete. Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. Of course, law and order is essential in any functional society. And we have joined us our first guest right now. Let's quickly introduce him. He's the barrister Mani Ochuboju. He's a transport consultant. And of course, we are glad to have you join us on the show. And just when you were, when you arrived, one of our cameramen say, Suleiman, this man looks like late Sir Victor Wifo. And I said, really? Have you ever thought about it?
Well, first, thanks for having me. Good morning, viewers. I am very honored to be associated with Victor Wifo. He's one of the greatest musical legends of our time. And when we were youngsters and teenagers, we looked up to people like them. And the style, the singing, the music, the messages that time were the soundtrack of our youth. So we salute him and may his memory be a blessing to us. Indeed, he is a hero. Yes. And we're looking for new heroes, most especially as far as the road transport is concerned, because today we talk about traffic gridlock and all of that. Yes, we know that there are infrastructural challenges here and there, but in some cases you realize that everything is provided, yet we still experience this traffic gridlock. And then you begin to wonder, where is the fault? Where does the fault lie? Traffic gridlock has to do a lot with three things: enforcement, engineering, and education. So I'll summarize it. Enforcement is how we enforce road traffic rules, road traffic safety regulations, and road traffic management. How we enforce it, the sufficiency of it, the equipments made available to the enforcers, the number of those available to do the job, how well they are trained. All of that has to do with the extent of the chaos we see on the road. Engineering has to do with the planning, the roads, the road network. Our over-reliance on road, we've discussed that many times before, is excessive, 90%. For a population of 200 million people, the major mode of transportation remains road. That will cause problem. And many of the roads are not paved anyway. We have 200,000 kilometers of roads that are paved in 923,000 square kilometers of land. That is still small. And of the paved roads, in fact, they are not even paved. What is paved actually is about 34,000 kilometers. It's 200,000 kilometers of network of road, which is impressive, but they are not motorable in most cases. So the paved aspects are small. So when you have a situation where the network of roads are insufficient, they are not well paved, they are not well designed. They are not well designed, not for the population. Okay, look at Abuja. Abuja is fast growing. Look at the connection between Abuja and Kefi. They are not looking at how we will have to bypass Kefi and reduce traffic hold-up in places like Kefi.
Yeah.
These are things we need to start dealing with now as the population continues to explode. Lastly, on education. I remember as a young road safety officer, when we started Road Safety Commission, well, there was then called Commission, now Road Safety Corps. One of the key policies and principles that we were driving was public enlightenment, public education. That was like the mantra. We go to schools, we go to churches, we go to mosque, we go on radio. We were mandated to conduct jingles on radio, particularly radio. Television wasn't so popular in 1988, 89, when road safety started. Just one channel, NTA. So, but then, and then you don't operate 24 hours like today. So, we do TV, of course, but mostly radio, because radio had the mass reach.
Still has.
So, education needs to be continued. We need to rejig the road safety culture and the road safety mentality of even we Nigerians, the motorists. Those are issues that we need to look at.
Well, so some have actually said that, yes, education, enlightenment, and all of that. As a matter of fact, they are part of the 6 E's of, road safety, their implementation strategy.
Correct.
But they are really saying that despite, this enlightenment, education, it's like, it's more of an attitudinal thing with Nigerians, because if they leave the shores of Nigeria, they go to other climes, they obey the traffic laws set by these countries. Why not do same in the country?
It's a perplexing question, quite frankly. Why not do same in Nigeria? I look at, again, the issue of maybe insufficiency of the facilities available. If there are enough good roads, if there are enough alternative routes and alternative modes of transportation, why do I have to rush? Why do I have to struggle and cut corners? Secondly, the quality of our drivers. Let's not forget, majority of our drivers, I'm sorry to use the word, they are illiterates. And for those that are literate, the percentage that are literate, let's say about 50% that are literates. How many of them understand highway code? So they are road illiterate to that extent.
One of our guests yesterday actually said that getting a driver's license there, it's calls for celebration.
Precisely.
Really. But we talk more about driving schools and of course how well equipped they are to teach, the basics in the schools. But right now, and I'm sure you're familiar with Area 1, at peak hour, the traffic there is usually terrible, but something good has happened there. So let's see this next report.
It's fair to say that every megacity has traffic. Some say the demand for road space is greater than the supply. But this cannot be true for all traffic carnage on the road. In Abuja, for instance, the cause of traffic congestion is far from lack of good road network. Instead, the issue tends to stem from indiscipline of road users, lack of patience, and disregard for the road traffic enforcement agents. This used to be the case at the Area 1 underbridge in Abuja. Area 1 underbridge is strategic for many commuters as one can easily connect to different locations within and outside Abuja. However, safety was an issue for commuters as criminals began to take advantage of the gridlock to rob vehicle passengers. As a result, commuters were often subjected to extra charges to secure a taxi along this route.
I think I've actually had an experience on my own once with my brother. We were coming back around the other side and we were stopped by some thugs, and they actually wanted to, to collect our stuff. But thankfully, I think at that particular time they were trying to do that. We had some friends coming in, so they were not able to do it. That's like a common occurrence here at that particular time. Before, it's even a common occurrence. You just come around there. Sometimes you find the dead body here, like in the evening, before they come to evacuate and all of that. The traffic situation is, is something else. Honestly, something else. Before, if you are going to work for a journey that probably will take you 15-20 minutes. You actually need to take like about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So if you really need to get to the office early, you need to wake up earlier.
Today, VIO and Abuja Environmental Task Force are placed at strategic positions to improve traffic flow by controlling vehicle movements.
Yeah, when we came in, look at the situation, we decided that we should go and take some tires together with our colleague brothers, those in the environmental. We line up all these tires and make sure nobody, if you cross here, will book you or will keep your vehicle for some time. And you know, when you keep your motor for some time, you may not be able to get 1 or 2 things in a day. And that's why, and they're complying. The union also are supporting us. There's no problem. The police also working, the road safety, we are all doing a nice job here, you can see. But the VIO will be here till 9 p.m. every evening. We start from 2, work till 9. And those that will be in the morning will start from 7 and close by 2. So they have no problem. You can see everywhere is moving smoothly. The motorists are happy. People are talking good of us.
But some people are not happy with the decision of the enforcement agents here.
I really don't know why they are here, and then it's so terrible for us. Like, there's still traffic still, and then we can't get cabs on time. So I really don't know why they are here and why they are stopping taxis from staying here. Like, I literally have to stand for about an hour to get a taxi, when I would literally just stand here for like 10 minutes and I get a taxi home.
People must obey the law. It's not our intention to arrest people. If you do illegally, we'll show you illegally. The government will take you to mobile court and you penalize. So our concern is that people must obey the law. This government is making sure that life is normal for all of us. And I want to encourage our motorists to obey the law so there will be no problem.
Many who used to ply this route recognize the positive changes here, but only time will tell if this new normal will be sustained.
There you have it. You saw that. What are your thoughts?
No, my thoughts on this occasion is really with the enforcement agents.
Yeah.
We need to ensure safety and security on our roads and to ensure a peaceful environment. Area A has been exceedingly chaotic. I heard them complaining about waiting for 20 minutes, 15 minutes to get a cab. What about a situation where you get that cab and you cannot even leave, and the vehicle cannot leave and you are stuck, and the place is chaotic and unsafe? How about those issues? You see, again, it comes to even we road users, our attitude, which you were referring to in the earlier question. We have to review it. I think what may need to be done there, in addition, maybe create an additional bus stop, a designated bus stop, not far from that area, where some taxis and some buses can pull up so that there'll be more, let me say, access to taxis and buses.
Okay.
Other than that, what they have done so far, I mean, credit to them. We have to give credit where and when credit is due. Area 1 now is a place where you can drive through quickly, safely. I think it's something we should commend them for.
All right, now let's go back to the drivers who you say most of them will fail the highway code if tested, if they are being given. Now, let's go back to the driving schools we have in the country. Yes, who is expected to monitor their activities? And then, are you recommending that most drivers who have, reached some certain point in terms of offense committed on the road, breaking the road traffics and all of that, should have their driver's license withdrawn and be sent back to driving schools?
First part, who is responsible for monitoring or establishment of driving school? Statutorily is Federal Road Safety Commission. Federal Road Safety Corps. Well, commission is in my days, so my apologies. I'm still old school. So Federal Road Safety Corps have the legal rights to set up driving schools, and they monitor it, they inspect it. 2, they have the right to authorize the registration of driving schools. That is another mandate that they share. I call it cross-cutting with the vehicle inspection officers or Directorate of Road Traffic Services. the VIOs as we saw them, they too have a right to register private driving schools and to monitor them. But Federal Road Safety accredits them, inspects them, monitor them, and they even guide federal government or state government institutions that want to set up driving schools. So it's both a private thing and also a state thing. Federal Road Safety set up some model schools as well. They are supposed to set up some model schools of their own. That is for that. The second question you ask is, what do we do about the quality of our drivers if they offend? Yes, I think time was when, I recall, as a road safety officer, if you misbehave, and you become a repeat offender, we'll ask you to come and attend our own course. We teach you, we take you through road safety course.
It's part of your punishment.
Yes, it's corrective punishment, as it were, you know. And we restrain you from driving for a week or two, in which you'll be coming to road safety office for retraining. That used to be the case, I recall very well. I mean, I worked in Bauchi, I worked in Kano, I worked in Lagos, I worked in Ibadan. And as zonal commanding officer, I remember that time, my zonal command then starts from Jos all the way to Borno. It was one of the biggest zones. So you can see the extent of my involvement with road management from a very young age as an officer. So we would hold you, well, not hold as in restrain, but we will restrain your driver's license and impound your vehicle and ask you to come and attend courses. That used to be the case. And I believe that the present Corps Marshal, he was a pioneer officer with us. And that was part of the ethos and part of the public enlightenment, because the punishment then wasn't supposed to be punitive. It was supposed to be corrective. That was the attitude and the policy and principle. So I believe that is still the case. And I believe too, that is still the case where they will send you from, from the traffic courts, from the mobile courts. They ask you to go and attend some courses. But they've not made it mandatory for you to go back to school. I think they should. I sincerely believe, so to that extent, yes, I agree with you. Maybe that's one of the regulations they can consider, because Federal Road Safety Corps have a right to make regulations. Maybe it's something they can consider in the review and updating of their regulation. Because for real, the level of illiteracy of highway code and highway rules and regulation is excessive in Nigeria. That is one of the main causes of the case. For us to be able to do road enforcement, road traffic enforcement like they do it in advanced countries, other things need to be in place, like knowing the address of the motorist. You have to be sure of the address. It has to be compulsory that the address of the motorist on his license and on his vehicle plate are exact, not fake. In Nigeria, like in most countries, it's an offense to give false address. But most of these rural areas, it's very difficult, or even not even rural areas. Let me say inner cities or outskirts of the cities. The address, I can just tell you, Katankpe, so and so. Where is that? So if you commit offense, and let's say the camera captures you and captures your vehicle, and they say, this is from so and so Jim Brown at Katankpe. Where is his house? It's hard to locate. So those are things that need to be put in place. Maybe again, dealing with national identification that we are trying to do, that will help. Identifying the person, maybe biometrics will help. Yes, all said and done, putting cameras on the road help to maintain discipline and order on the road. It reduces the human element and it enhances the use of technology.
Okay, we have some questions here for you. So maybe we'll come back after we must have taken the next report from NTA Ibadan. Let's quickly take this.
Transportation is the movement of something, that is, passengers or goods from one place to another. Long before civilization, means of movement of passengers or goods through long distance was by beasts of burden like donkeys, camels, horses, and so on. The advent of civilization has made transportation very easy with the onset of popular mode of transportation like vehicular movement. With this ease of movement with vehicles in form of cars, buses and trucks comes attendant challenges like accidents and traffic gridlock. Traffic gridlock or logjam is a traffic impasse so bad that no movement is possible, and this often happens due to nonchalant behavior and disobedience of traffic laws by motorists. Traffic laws are made to guide motorists on our roads, and the traffic law enforcement is the core function of government agencies like the police and the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC). With the availability of their services, why do we still experience traffic logjam in some areas in Oyo State?
You can't be taking one way and you're talking to somebody else who is also taking one way. You are not doing the right thing. You cannot be overspeeding and you want to educate somebody not to overspeed. You are not doing the right thing. So the individual person must first and foremost do the right thing on the road.
If you want to make our roads to be safe, you must make sure that you have good roads. Good roads combine many things. If the roads are well tarred, you must make sure we place signs there. At the same time, our drivers need to be trained very well. Some people are getting their driver's license outside the training. They are not going for training at all. So some don't know the signs. Even if the signs are put on the roads, they don't know the signs. So it means that the training should be given to the drivers throughout the nation to make sure that every one of them knows the signs on the road.
Improvement in traffic law enforcement should be part of an integrated road safety policy, and it has been shown to lead to rapid reductions in logjam, injuries and deaths when applying best practice. Then why insanity on our roads? Why do motorists have no regards for traffic laws? Some respondents shed more light.
If law are enforced, and you did not look at faces of whoever you are stepping on his or her toes, that will make the law effective.
If the government try and do the rules, there will be a smooth ride for the drivers.
Respondents opined that if stringent enforcement of traffic laws are applied on motorists and major penalties like financial fines, impounding of vehicle, or imprisonment in extreme cases are meted out to erring motorists, and also incorruptibility of government traffic law enforcement agencies will go a long way in bringing sanity to our roads. Also, government has roles to play by making sure roads are motorable, putting road signs and traffic lights where applicable to ease road movement. Also, prompt payment of salary and welfare of government agencies saddled with traffic enforcement will see drastic reduction of traffic jam on our roads.
All right, there you have it. Just before we took that report, some questions here specifically to you. That thank you, Mr. Mani. You're doing a wonderful job here in the studio of Weekend Deal. But the situation whereby the road is not worthy to be used, and the vehicle of course the road damages the vehicle. What can the VIOs do in that instance? And then somebody say that you have not responded to my observation about the VIOs using rickety cars, cars that are not roadworthy, and then penalizing other cars that are not, roadworthy. And this one says, "Good morning, sir. The police and the law and other road law enforcement agencies are also contributing much on breaking the road laws by collecting bribes instead of punishing the offenders." This is coming from Muhammad Ibrahim Shua.
I agree. I didn't address the issue of VIOs using rickety vehicles. I thought maybe it's an issue we may discuss, but when we talk of law enforcement, let's also look at the equipment of the enforcement officers. What equipments do they have? Remember, we're just talking about technology. Yeah. Even vehicles, modern, up-to-date vehicles, good, well-maintained vehicles, part of the equipment of enforcement. So To that extent, it's an institutional matter that we need to deal with. We don't have to blame the VIO, who himself, I'm sorry to say, is a victim. He's just carrying on what the institution presents to him, which is inappropriate. So I remember when we were discussing SARS sometimes, NSAS, you also have to look at the welfare of the officers. We have to look at the resources and the materials made available to the officers besides the training. So it's same for VIOs. We have to look at the welfare. VIOs and road safety as well. What's their welfare, their promotion, the equipments that they use, their motorbikes, their own vehicles, how up to date, how well maintained, how many are they? Are they enough? Where you have in a command, in a road safety command, or even in a VIO command, you have just one vehicle, just one or two. So those are issues. I agree with that.
Well, now that you're talking about rickety cars, let's take this next report put together by Charles Obike on cars that are not roadworthy.
Looking out to find out what is within the different driving culture, experience, and traffic rules differ in many countries.
The cost of maintaining vehicle now is high. You know, a lot of passengers believe that it's only fuel you buy, but it's not actually so. Fuel is, I would say, fuel is the least thing you buy in vehicle. You buy a lot of things, so people who are not able to maintain their vehicle, you will not really see their faults. Because at the end of the day, okay, look at this garage now. See vehicle littered everywhere, waiting for one person to load. It will take a vehicle maybe an hour to load. At the end of the day, you may spend 3 hours on the line. So how many times will you go in a day to make 5,000? Most of us are not the owner of the vehicle. Some are hire purchased. Some are you are paying the person daily. So how do you actually make them even to save to make your vehicle look good? So if some vehicles that are bad, I will not actually blame those people.
Person where you see that he maintain his vehicle, go be saying I buy the vehicle on his own. When they do maintenance, you see money or you no see money, you know say that na in pocket they go. When you see money, you go know how to maintain your vehicle. But when money no dey, all of us where we are here now, all of us we are family man.
Try and maintain your motor. If you are not maintain your motor, don't carry your motor come here. If you are not if your motor is dirty, don't carry come here. Clear your motor be clean. People that enter motor, they are human being like us. Treat them as a normal. But if you treat them as animal, say this motor come here to you now, it's not proper. You don't come here, it's not proper. Some person that won't be come here to enter motor here again.
The pros and cons of driving in Nigeria require attentive application and skills. Noticeably, most highways, streets, and intersections involve knowing the right of way, observing speed limits, finding your way, being alert for pedestrians, animals, oncoming vehicles, gridlocks, unexpected obstructions, dead and rickety vehicles on the roads.
Because of the kind of situation in Nigeria now, where do you even get the money to buy a good vehicle? So some people will go to mechanic workshop, if they see a scrap, they'll buy it, put one or two things, and they hit the road. So they look for a way to maneuver their way. But most time, if they see, if VI will catch you, they may, at the end of the day, the offense they will charge you for, you may not be able to even build that car. So, but the truth is, everybody is just trying to survive.
As the quality of roads improve and decline, the ignorance of rickety vehicles associated with abnormal road users breed insanity on roads.
Those ones that don't look good, they're just using it for the main time. I don't know why, but people feel they are happy with it, especially these drivers. They are happy with the motor. Even some passengers will not even want to enter their motor because of the way the car is being customized. Some of them, instead of them to go and repair the motor that is not looking good so that it will be comfort for the passengers, but they will try to say that it's because of economy. They need maybe the road safety to teach them, because some of them they don't know. Even if you tell them, they will still do what they know best for themselves.
Amid irritating open race driving habits, the Federal Road Safety and the Transport Ministry have succeeded and failed in a declining law enforcement measures.
No, they're not doing enough. They're not doing enough, but they are trying. Yes, they are trying, but the trying is not reaching 100. It should be 100% at least. So they should be on the road and know what is going on, especially all these motos. Some of them, especially when they are speeding, they will be on a road that has to do with 50 kilometers. They'll be speeding 100. You will not see any police there. People will just be hitting each other cars anyhow. Some they even get accidents at the point of that. So the best thing that VIO or road safety, whatever they are, police especially, they should be on the road.
Rickety vehicles constitute unbearable environmental nuisance and are seen as true reflection of the country's poor socioeconomic realities. Some drivers are the biggest problem, not infrastructure or enforcement on Nigerian roads.
Well, a powerful submission. I see Mr. Mani nodding to that fact. And then yesterday, one of our guests actually said that in Port Harcourt, there is a scenario whereby someone who is mentally unstable was actually the one controlling traffic for the road users. That was quite a powerful, picture or representation there. And that says a lot about what we are facing in this country, because you realize that sometimes even the passengers are part of the problem, telling the driver to beat traffic because they're in a hurry.
Yes, you're right. Most times, passengers in the vehicle are also a problem. I've had many occasions to take public transport, and on many occasions you see somebody saying, you got to hurry up, hurry up. Or you get to traffic light and it is red, and there's, let's say, just one vehicle. They will be urging the driver to move on, to cross, to jump the light. And you see situations where you, as a motorist, I recall on a couple of times, I'm driving and I'm correcting other bad conducts on the road and telling them off. And somebody in the car with me will say to me, why do you bother? How many people can you correct? I say, if I correct just one, that's good enough. That may save a life or two. That one driver can cause a harm to you and I. So it's an attitudinal thing that needs to be rejigged, to be reconstructed. And it comes to the issue of public education. Public education, public education. Maybe we started road safety under the guidance and tutelage of the likes of Dr. Oluwagunloye and Professor Shoyinka. So they had this educational outlook. They were methodical about the issue of education. And they were exceedingly missionary about it and enthusiastic about it. Re-educate the people, re-educate the drivers. So we still need to go back to our own self as drivers. I recall one day a friend of mine, even in fact a lawyer, of course I won't mention his name. We came to a traffic light at night in Abuja here, and I stopped. He got angry. He said, it's dangerous. Why do you stop? I said, why? He said, in Lagos, you get robbed. I said, in Abuja, you may not get robbed. Not in Asokoro. Well, I don't know, but you won't get robbed. And we had that conversation all through the rest of the journey. So those are issues that we need to look at as well.
Well, we all, from all you've said, we all have a shared responsibility. Like I say, we're all stuck in this traffic. The government is there. The government needs to do the needful. The enforcement agencies need to take their responsibility really seriously. The motorists and even the, commuters, indeed, we all have a role to play to ensuring that we have sanity as far as road traffic is concerned. Thank you very much, Barrister Mani Chuboju. He's a transport consultant, and like you said, he's had a significant experience with the road safety. Right now we go on a break, and after that we still have some juicy stories to come your way, so stay with us. on a sad note, now yesterday, of course, we lost the legend, the music legend, Sir Victor Wifo. And of course, a lot of people have been paying tribute since yesterday to this music icon, a legend. And I said the story, or rather the history and the success story of the Nigerian music industry cannot be complete without reference to this man. Let's take this tribute.
Professor Sir Victor Wifo was a Nigerian musician, writer, sculptor and musical instrument inventor, university lecturer, music legend and the first Honorable Commissioner for Arts, Culture and Tourism in Nigeria.
Beautiful. Give yourselves a big hand.
He was the winner of the first gold disc in Africa, Joromi, released in 1965, and 7 other gold discs in Guitar Boy and others. He was recognized as the most educated performing music legend, musical instrument inventor and artist worldwide, with a BA Honors, Master's degree and PhD in architectural sculpture. Born on 1st March 1941 and died on 28 August 2021, the Guitar Boy, as he was fondly called, celebrated his 80th birthday in March 2021. This is wishing family of Sir Victor Wifo, friends, Nigerians and the world at large the fortitude to bear the loss.
If you see mommy walk down, never, never you run away. Sing that song of love, sweet melody.
What an inspiration. And then you also remember that at 54 he went back to school for his we graduated, went back to school and graduated with first class honors. At 56 he got his master's degree, and at 77 given a doctorate degree. And we have like a lot of messages coming in, and of course we recognize them, and excuse me. And oh, this one is coming from Elizabeth. Okay, we don't have time. We can take the messages. Sorry. Next time we'll do. Well, very, very important. We've been talking about enforcement of traffic laws in our society, enlightenment, education, engineering, environment, enforcement and evaluation. These are key, in ensuring that we restore sanity on our roads. Bye for now.